Next game is Spurs Timberwolves. DeMar DeRozan. He's always so quiet. I mean, he was quiet in the Raptors, but they were the North. We are North. Now they're the Spurs, and he's even more quiet because that's just his personality. He's playing decent, 38, 5 and 5. He had a good night, but they went to overtime against one of the worst teams. Timberwolves are not playing good at all. Cat was back, so that's probably why they went into overtime. They probably would have lost that game without him. But the Spurs, they might be in that play-in, 7 through 10. They'll be a sleeper team. You don't want to sleep just because of Pop. You don't want to sleep on them. And Aldridge, they play by the book. But I don't think they're really going to make no noise. Magic Mavericks. Mavericks won that game 112-98. Vucevic 30, 15 and 2. Tim Hardaway Jr. 36, 5 and 2. I told you, Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to be their crucial third guy. Their big three. Him, Porzingis, and then Luka. And then they have a lot of good complimentary guys. They're missing. It sucks I had to get rid of Seth Curry, but they do have Brunson, Jalen Brunson. He's a good piece. They got a couple good pieces, and they got Big Boban. So they got some pieces. They're gonna be a good team. They'll be probably 4 or 5, probably maybe 5 or 6. But they're good. But the Magic, they started off so well. They were playing so good, but without Fultz. It's hard. I mean, I like Cole Anthony, but Fultz is only because he's had more experience so far. I think he's a little bit better, and guys have learned to play around him. Now they got to readjust and learn Cole's style. So, it might be another one of those years for the Magic. And then Trailblazers 125-99 over the Kings. The Kings are playing good for a while, but this game I think they just ran out of juice. They just got outscored in the first half. It was an onslaught by the Trailblazers. C.J. McCollum went 37, 3 and 3. They played good, hitting shots early, and they kind of took the life out of the Kings, and they didn't put up much of a fight to come back. So 125-99. All right, and then let's go Sunday. Last night's games. I don't know for those, but Sunday's games. Jazz, Pistons. Jazz took that game 96-86. Like I said, Jeremy Grant was playing real good. He had 28, 4 and 4. Jeremy Grant's playing. He won a chance, and he's got his chance, and he's been proving it. But they just haven't turned into wins. He didn't have enough help really. Jazz took that game. Mike Conley 22, 5 and 6. The Clippers, Bulls. Zach LaVine, bro. Here it goes again. Did it against the Lakers. He did it against every team he's played so far. 45, 7 and 7 against the Clippers in regulation time. He was just phenomenal. They lost, but ended up losing by 3 on a last second shot. I mean, wow. Kawhi had his season high 35. Yeah, 35. Let's see when this returns. Okay. 35, 4 and 2. The Clippers are good. They're playing good. They come out strong. They just have to continue to bring that same intensity throughout the game. Saw it last year in the playoffs. We've seen a couple games early. They lost to the Warriors the same way earlier in the weekend because they take their foot off the pedal. They get complacent. They got to get out of that habit. It's not a good habit. But they're going to play more games. It looks like Kawhi wants to play more games this season. There's shorter games, so hopefully he plays more to get that continuity, and they'll be good to go. They won that game 130-127. Thunder Nets. Like I said, the Thunder they're playing really well. They don't have alpha. They have a leader in Shea, 31, 6 and 7. But they don't play selfish ball. They play team ball. They pass the ball. They play team defense. They listen to their coach and they buy in. 129-116 with KD on the other side. He went for 36, 11 and 4. So they just don't give up. They play the right way, and they'll be a team you got to watch out for. Nuggets Knicks. 114-89. The Nuggets win that game. 22, 10 and 5. but Jokic wasn't the best center, big man really on the floor that night. Julius Randle played the best game, 29, 10, and 5. I wish he had a superstar maybe with him. He could partner up. I see him if he was a third option on somebody's team. Then there's two guys that were better than him. That they would be a really, really, really good team. But with just him as a focal piece, they'll be good because he's a double-double, 30. He can get 22 and 10 every night if he wanted. He can average that. But with the help he has in the Knicks, not saying they're awful, but it's just not enough. Not with all the firepower. Maybe in the East they can make the play-in game. Maybe, but it's it's gonna be kind of hard. Lakers Rockets. There was a big scuffle, Morris and Boogie, even though, because Morris went at the rookie, I forgot his name, and Boogie came back, pushed Morris. Morris came back. He really didn't look like he wanted no smoke. He kind of like ran up to him. It looked like he expected somebody to hold him back or something. I don't really know what was going on, but then he just kind of shoved Boogie. He didn't move. He got ejected. It was one of those frustration games for the Rockets because they were trying so hard, but they weren't really getting much. They had no answer for AD, 27, 4 and 1. He was getting what he wanted, and in the second quarter, they just got their heart taken out and stomped on, and then they couldn't do much. They tried to put on a little bit of a push in the third quarter, but the Lakers were right there with them. They never got back into it, so they lost 120 to 102. James Harden, they just need to trade James Harden. I think they need to just start over. The chemistry there is just not there. I don't really see it working. They might have a good week or maybe a good couple games, but I don't see it working long term. Spurs, Timberwolves. The Timberwolves actually won that game, 96 to 88, thanks to D'Angelo Russell, 27, 5 and 5. D'Angelo's, he's always been a good player. Even way back in the Lakers, I thought he was a good player. He was looked at a certain way by the media and by his teammates. And then he, dropped a little bomb. I ain't gonna get into that, but he's always been a good player. I like D'Angelo. I liked him with the Warriors. They had to trade him, of course. I wouldn't have traded him for Andrew Wiggins, but they did. But he led them to the victory last night against the Spurs, who's a good team. They played the right way. Then we go Warriors Raptors. The Warriors win that game 106 to 105. Draymond was being the glue guy that they need him to be in order to win games. 10, 9, and 10, almost 10, 10, and 10 game. He's facilitating, making plays, playing defense, outlets, fast breaks. Wiseman is like his favorite target now. That's like his son on the court. Not in a bad way, but like that's just a guy. The Warriors had the game for a while, and in the fourth quarter though they let the Raptors come back and actually outscored them 33 to 19. But it was Damian Lee who set a screen for Curry. Curry popped open for the three. He was calling for the ball. You should have probably gave him the ball, but instead he took the three. He got fouled on it, made two. They came down the court, and I think it was Pascal Siakam had a one-on-one situation for the game winner, had a little turnaround, and he missed it. So they survived that game, 106 to 105. But the Warriors 6 and 4. They're fifth right now in the West. They were the worst team in the NBA by far last year, and that just shows you how good Curry is and why he is over there on my MVP list. But we're not gonna get there yet. Psych, we are, because that is actually the last game because the Heat and the Celtics got postponed. So let's actually take a look at the board. I was gonna do a player of the weekend, but I'll probably start that next week. I just didn't really have time to look at it. But I think I'm going to start doing that player of the weekend for the weekends, just on Monday shows. But player of the day, and on the day that I'm talking about was last night. Yeah, on Sunday night. So I would do play of the day for this night before Sunday. It's Kawhi Leonard, 35, 4 and 2. he was consistent throughout the game, and the way that Zach LaVine has been playing, you needed every one of 35 points from Kawhi Leonard and his defense disruption for the other players. That wasn't slowing Zach LaVine down because he was playing like a monster, but you needed all of Kawhi Leonard's 35 points. He was composed throughout the game, and he's their leader. He's a silent leader. He's a lead by example leader, not a vocal leader, but he was the reason why they won that game. And 127 to 130, they could have easily lost that game. So, player of the day, I gave it to him. KD had a good game, but he lost. Yeah, and I mean Curry had a good game, but he wasn't the reason they won. He was more. He 1 for 10 from 3. He was more for me. Only reason I say he had a good game is because his presence. It wasn't his actual contribution to the game. It's just the way that he creates open shots for everybody else. He had a good game, but that's every game, so I couldn't really give it to him. Pascal had a good game, but they lost. So Kawhi got it done against the guy that's fire hot right now. 35-4-2, and he got the player of the day. So finals predictions. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see me taking either one of these two teams down yet. It's a little too early for me to, make adjustments on it. I'm gonna stick with them. But the Celtics are on my radar. The Celtics are really on my radar because it's the third year. First year they went conference finals, then they go again. It's just about time that they